Good morning or good afternoon. It depends where you are. Welcome to Mr.Shipman's class. I am Dr. Terrence Shipman. I'm here with the beautiful and talented Prudence Williams.
Hey y'all, how you doing out there?
And again, we have a special guest, Miss Tanya Bennett.
Hi everyone.
So today, ladies, our topic is summer's here and your adult child has finished high school or returning from college and testing adult wings and trying your nerves.
Yes. Well, Dr. Shipman, I think we should all start off by talking about ourselves. Everybody knows us as teachers. Talking about ourselves as parents. So I'll start. I have one son. He is 18. He graduated from high school. We had a 13-year adventure. My darling BJ was, from day one of school, always a phone call away from me with a teacher. He was a handful. He graduated on time, but it was a very interesting time. Miss Bennett?
Well, hey, I'm from a family of 12, and I'm number 10. So, and I have about 30 nieces and nephews. I may be off, maybe 37, 46 great nieces and nephews, and you would think having kids for me would say I have a whole lot of experience and know what to do. My mama would always say, keep living, my child, keep living. Wait till you have your own. I have two. I have a 19-year-old and a 10-year-old. So, yes, I would say I'm really living and I'm really being tested.
Well, I have four. I have a 25, a 20, 19, and a 17. One that just graduated from high school. And I'm 4 for 4. I all got out of high school. And hopefully we praying in a few weeks we'll have all 4 in college. So I really, know how it is to have a college student now. Having to gone to 4 colleges, I kind of can relate and grew up around colleges because my dad was a coach. Here we go again. Now I'm going to give some shout outs to Hampton University. I kind of know about the college life, but it still drives you up a wall. You be like, hey, you have all the resources. I know I might be getting a little ahead of myself. I'm trying to tell you what to do because I know how this thing is, but it's like, okay, Dad.
So what we're talking about today is we all have, Dr. Shipman has one son who came home from his freshman year of college. He also has one son who just graduated from high school, so he gets a double dose.
At the same time.
He has a son. He has a son who went to college earlier, decided it wasn't for him, worked for a couple of years, and is rerouting back around and ready now to finish college. So he has that. Miss Bennett has a freshman in college who has returned home. He's a sophomore now. And she has a rising middle schooler. Wow. A young lady who is right at the beginning of her teenage years. God bless us one and all.
Yes.
And I have and when I listen to it like this, I just have a high school graduate. But I'm going to start. My favorite saying for my son is, but I'm 18. And I say this with all the love in the world. When a child says that, it's almost like they think 18, there's a special package that we've been hiding from them for 17 years that they get to open at 18, and it has all the wisdom in the world. I'm here to tell you that box is empty. We give it to them. We really do give it to them.
Yes.
We say, you're an adult, and we give them adulthood, but there's nothing in it. They have no life experiences, no sense of this could get you arrested and put in jail for the rest of your life. They're just there. They're just there.
I can't even say we give it to them. I think they take it.
I would agree with you, Terrence.
I think they take it and then they open it and be like, okay, this is it.
Actually, I think they see stuff in it that's not in there.
Yeah.
I honestly, because it's like the day after he turned 18, he was like, but Mom, I understand this. I got this. And I was like, no, you really don't.
Right, and they know more than you, although you've been living on this earth way longer than them.
Yeah. So how do the parents manage? How do you manage? Y'all, you've done it numerous times, at least 3 times.
Yes.
You've done 1 year. Help me. I just started and It's only been, he turned 18 3 weeks ago, and I don't know if we're going to make it another 3 weeks.
Oh, you'll make it. You'll make it.
So how do we manage?
You have to step away. You have to give them room to make those errors, especially during the summer coming up, going in the summertime. You give them room to mess up, because that way you can guide them a little bit. You're going to lose your mind. You're going to say some stuff, but say it to yourself, because some stuff you may say may damage their little spirits. So I want you to always remember, test it out in your thoughts first before you let it come out your mouth, because when you put it out there, you may not be able to take back, but stuff you want to put out there and stick, say it. Be honest. Be brutally honest with them, and don't sugarcoat it, because the world doesn't sugarcoat it for our kids.
Nope. So what you're saying is the child, I should temper my words to a certain extent and try not to destroy them verbally to a child who's explained to me that he's 18 and 18 is the center of all wisdom. I got to temper my words with them.
You have to temper your words, because I know it makes you angry. It makes you upset. 18 and what that's supposed to mean is just another number.
I agree.
All right,
and especially if you can't take care of yourself.
Well, I have a scenario, and this is not this. This is just something I read in a magazine somewhere. So, mother has a child. He's out of high school, and the child goes off and wrecks the car. Calls home, says, I've wrecked the car. The parent goes and sets it up to get it repaired. Should the parent... It ultimately was this child's fault. The 18-year-old was driving too fast. What would you recommend for a parent like that? I mean...
I think take them through they have to learn the process. I mean, you're doing it, but you have to show them how this is costing money. How this one thing is affecting everything. Not just how the insurance going to go up. How you have to get repairs. How I got to find another way to get around. That's going to... So instead of us eating this type of fish tonight, we just going to eat some hamburgers.
And that is so true. My son, he wrecked his first car. And my husband ran out. He fixed the car. He didn't explain to our son what it cost, because he went and he repaired it. And in 2 weeks, my son was back in his car. So he didn't realize what impact that had on us.
So we're talking about accountability. Y'all saying make them, even when they make errors, make them accountable for their errors.
Yes. So I say that because he didn't hold him accountable for the accident, guess what happened? He had a second accident, but this time it wasn't his vehicle, it was mine.
And
so I told my husband, okay, we need to stop. He need to be without a ride for a minute. Don't put him back in anything. Let's take him and drop him off and make him wait in the hot sun, because he was reffing during the summer. So waiting for an hour, even after he was finished, to wait on me, then that inconvenienced him. Mm-hmm. So inconvenience them to hold them accountable. Then he sat down and told them, okay, this is what we make. This is what our budget is for insurance. And show them what happens when we got that new insurance bill after he wrecked that second car. Because sometimes the insurance forgive you on that first one. Sometimes, depending on the insurance carrier you have. A lot of times they don't. Mm-hmm. So when that second accident happened, our insurance increased. So he needed to see what that did to our budget and how that was going to impact him going to his first year. Because mind you, this happened before he got to college.
Oh my God.
In between graduation and the first day of college.
Okay, so I'm also approaching college. Y'all are giving me a lot of good ideas. Mm-hmm. And so as my son, we're ready to go to college. I'm struggling because I went to college. I know what college is. I'm very keenly aware of what college is, good and bad. And there's a part of me that wants to give guidance, and there's a part of me that wants him to discover. Mm-hmm. What guidance would you give parents as they drop their 18-year-olds off in college? I don't want to be the clingy helicopter mom who calls every day, requires a good night check. He's an adult. Really, on that level, I agree. He's an adult. But at the same time, you're going to be 100 miles away from me.
Yeah.
And making decisions, what advice would y'all give Dr. Shipman and Ms. Bennett for parents to offer guidance to parents on how to manage children who are leaving for college?
I think it's still hard. It's hard to do that. I'm still going through it. With one of my son, I tried to say, hey, we talk, but not that often. I try to give him space. I try to, they have it where you can look at the grades. I want to make sure I can see the grades, but I was trying trying my best not to check them. I said, I have to trust him that he's doing well. And when we do talk, I say, okay, how are classes going? He'll tell me how the classes are going. And you just have to trust him and believe him. And that's really hard, because you knew how that child was just a year ago. When you were emailing teachers saying, hey, or you were getting emails or phone calls saying your child is not doing their work, and you sitting there like, Lord, now he has all this time. Oh, go ahead.
So what if they don't do their work? What if you have put out thousands of dollars? Because that's what I say to my son all the time. I don't care where you go to college. I really don't. I'm not trying to hold on to you, but don't go waste my money. This is a lot of money, and I work really, really hard for this money. And if you don't want to go to college, I can do a lot of other things with this money. How do you not check the grades, so to speak? And then let's assume they don't do as well as we want them to do. How do you get them back on course? Because realistically, I say don't waste my money, but in the back of my mind, I go, and if he does waste your money and brings home F's, and are you going to stop paying for college? It's almost, to me, as I approach this, I've never done it, both of y'all have, it's like a double-edged sword. If I pull him out of college, now I have an uneducated 18-year-old living in my house who at best can make $10 an hour.
Well, I would say, Miss Williams, being that I had one of those kids that I didn't check up on. My husband had access. Well, we had access, but my husband checked. But what we ultimately learned that if they're passing, they don't mind telling you. But if they're failing, they get very quiet. And when you ask about grades, they don't have much to say. So you don't even have to check. That's your indicator. If he's telling you I got A's, B's, and C's, he's passing. He's going to tell you that. But if they're failing, they're going to hem and haw, and they'll never give you a direct answer. And I learned that because my child, the first semester, by midterms, he had 3 A's, 2 B's, and 1 C. I said, okay, we're going to have to hone in on that C and bring it on up. By the end of the semester, when we saw the grades, he had 2 A's and the rest of them were F's.
Wow.
So what happened? So although I was disgusted and upset, I'm talking about a child where I made most of the decisions as he was going through high school. He never really made any decisions. So part of that was part of his parents' fault, part of his fault, because he didn't do everything he needed to do, even with the help. And they have so much help available for them for free now.
And that's my fear. You just hit on my fear. My fear is, even though everything you could possibly need to graduate and be successful in college is available, we made the decisions for them up until the day they leave our house. We made every decision down to what time we leaving to go to college to move you into your dorm.
Right.
I made that decision, and then I give them a car, I give them a checking account, and I give them their own place to live.
I don't know about that car.
Well, yours went downtown Atlanta, but you didn't even need to give him a car. He was in downtown Atlanta. He could go anywhere he wanted quite easily. And you gave him one of the largest cities on earth on top of that.
Yes.
I knew in my heart, that was probably my one limitation on college. I did not want him to go to a college in a large city. But seriously, I agree with what Ms. Bennett says. I feel that all the time. Oh my God, this child doesn't know how to do anything. I've done everything for him for 17 years.
I think junior, senior year in high school, you have to prepare them for college if they're going. You kind of know if your child going to college by then.
Yeah,
Right.
And you need to shift some responsibilities their way. Give them things to do, and let them make those mistakes slowly, gradually, so when they get in college, they know how to do certain things.
Okay, so I just came out of my senior year. I cannot think of one thing I could have let him do on his own. Tell me, give me examples. I'm a mom, and maybe I'm an overprotective, overdoing mom, but what?
It's just some decisions you have to let him make on his own. Instead, he come and ask you a question and say, well, how do you do this or how to do that? I need you to go research and see how to do it. And then when he finish, come back and y'all talk about that decision. They have to go through the process of knowing how to make decisions. What's the consequences? What's the actions? And when your child does mess up, try not to kill him, but try to walk him.
Right.
Just walk them through it and say, okay, what could you have done? Let's reflect. What could you have done differently? How could you have handled this better?
Well, I'm going to go for this goes with it. Both of you know this, but I'll let the whole world know it now. My son at the second semester of his senior year got in a lot of legal trouble. I mean, a lot. He made a very stupid decision, and it caused a lot of problems. He actually ended up being placed in the alternative school for students who could no longer be with the regular strand of students. Going to what you were saying about letting them make their mistakes, I talked to both of you about it extensively, and I decided to let him carry the full load of his punishment. I knew that if I had fought it, there were a couple of ways I could have gotten around quite a bit of this punishment, but I decided, he made an adult decision. It was a bad adult decision, but I have to let him walk that line, and he did. But one of the things we ran into afterwards, he graduated on time, got his high school diploma, is discouragement. He literally, that whole situation made a huge blow to his self-confidence, his view of himself. And I found myself, more so than punishing him, having to constantly go in and say, hey, you made a mistake. Get back up. Get back up. Just what you said. It wasn't like I let him research it, but he made a decision. It was a terrible decision. And then he got in trouble, and it was like, in his mind, he started to equate himself with this, I'm never going to amount to anything. Nobody was even saying it. He came up with it. I'm not going to amount to anything. He actually went through a period where he was like, I'm not going to go to college. I'm going to go to the military. He just lost all his confidence. And when you say that, talking to the kids about the decisions they make, good or bad, I found that to be one of the hardest things in this last year with him as he transitioned into the adult world, was helping them understand. I think one day I told him, you're going to make enough mistakes in your life to fill this room.
Yeah,
you cannot become a product of every mistake you make.
Okay. I'm going to say this one thing about, because I got these 4 kids. And yes, the one thing I was trying to tell these, and I try to show them more than tell them. I think you have to lead by example. They watch every single thing you do.
Yes.
So you trying your best to always lead by example. And the one thing I've always, on the way out here, I've told my youngest son to say, don't forget that you were raised. Don't forget your core being. Faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of those is love.
Right.
You are loved no matter what you think. You got somebody that love you. Now, I might want to knock you across your head, but guess what? You still love.
That's exactly right. We have to encourage them and continually encourage them, because the world is going to beat them up enough. You walk in the world, there is no pretty bow, no pretty gift, no big package waiting for you. It's a whole bunch of negativity, and you have to be positive within yourself, and you have to believe in yourself. And if we don't feed into our kids, who will?
True.
We have to continue to do that. And even after my son failed those classes, I told him, you have to go back and you have to do better. And guess what? I still had to pay for those next set of classes. Will I pay for the other ones that he failed? I think I'm going to let him carry that burden, because I have a certain amount of money to pay for these next 3 years. So he gonna have to figure out how to make up those. So sometimes we have to put some of that responsibility back on them, because I went to school and I paid for my entire education, being athletic and academic. I had to work. So he has to earn something. He has to do something in order for him to earn it and appreciate it. So you may want to think about that. I think Mr. Shipman, being that he has one almost out of college.
Yeah.
So we have to let them toe the line somewhere and carry some responsibilities for what they want while they go to college.
Well, at the end of the day, you can't put them on fast forward. Wouldn't it be nice if we could just press fast forward and like get them through that, through 18, 19, 20, all the way to like 23 with a job? You say 25?
25, they have a little more sense then.
A little bit more sense. They have a full-time job. They paying their own insurance. They got their own place. And they inviting you out to dinner.
Hey, that works.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice fast forward? Just kind of move through that. But since we can't, what would be, I'm asking for everybody, your last word on raising an adult child? Because here's the thing. Even though they're 18 and the government says that they're legal, I don't think there's a parent out there who is really parenting who would say at 18 they are adults. So what would be the last word of encouragement and guidance and promotion that you give to parents who have children who've just finished high school, stepping out into the adult world, or children who have 1 foot in the household as a child and 1 foot in the adult world and trying to transition and stumbling? What words of encouragement would you give to those parents?
I would say be patient. Make sure you're patient with them, and remember that no matter what, let them know that they're loved regardless of the mistakes that they are going to make. And remember that your reaction when they make those mistakes. Think about what you're doing, what you're saying. Sometimes we react without thinking, but put some thought into you. I done got this thing where I'm just quiet for at least 2 minutes. If I'm just quiet for at least 2 minutes, then I won't say something that'll be damaging forever, something that I won't be able to take back. Love them no matter what, because they're yours, and 18 don't make them grown.
It really doesn't. Thank you, Miss Bennett.
I think I'm going back to what I said earlier. Try to do the back work, especially that while they're the whole time they're alive, of course. But I think that 10th, 11th, and 12th grade year, you got to keep guiding them. You got to be preparing them for real life, because just in case they say, "Hey, I don't want to go to college." Okay, what's the next move? You have to show them it's a real world out there. Give them some responsibilities. I think like one of the things I'm going through with my son being home this summer, he's using my truck. So in using my truck, he has to come to reality. Okay, you go to work, you got to put gas in it, you got to change the oil, and you still have to give me some money. And he sits there like, but I don't have anything left now. This is reality. This is how it goes. How do you think I was doing it, being a single parent, taking you to best wrestling practice, football camp, wrestling camp, music, taking you to all these things, filling up that same truck, and 2 cars, filling up 2 cars, and making sure you have food to eat, you have air conditioning, everything. It's an introduction to the real world. You have to let them feel that pain for a minute of like, hey, wait, I don't have that much money. Hey, I got a girlfriend. How we gonna go out? Budget. Yeah.
That was good. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have helped me. Me and my 18-year-old will make it. We always do. It's just me and him, and we've been a dynamic duo for 18 years now, and yeah, we're gonna make it. We take the rough road sometimes, but we'll make it. But I will remember your words of tolerance and patience and accountability and responsibility. And I will say one of the things that I know that has helped me and my child is my last words on the topic is honest talk. I tell my son, if there was ever a person on the earth you can be honest with, good, bad, or indifference, is me. Because I'm your mama. What I'm going to do, stop loving you? No. No matter what you do, I can't think of anything you could do or say that would make me stop loving you, so you might as well tell me the truth. Sometimes it's harder for me to swallow the truth when he really does go all the way in and tells me the whole truth and nothing but the truth. But what I have found over these 18 years is by leaving that door for pure honesty open, we are able to get through most things. So, Dr. Shipman.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Bennett.
Yes.
Dr. Shipman has a new book coming out. Have you read any of his books?
Yes, I read his first book, the one preparing for Christmas. I was so excited.
What is it called? The
December Celebration.
December Celebration.
That was a good book. My daughter enjoyed it. Matter of fact, I enjoyed it so much I bought extra copies for a couple of my nieces and nephews.
Well, thank you.
So then you're gonna enjoy the second book. I've had a sneak preview because I do edit for him. The second book is called Mr. Shipman's Kindergarten Chronicles, The First Day of School. I'm going to give you a little backstory on it. When Dr. Shipman came to me and he told me about this project, this series of books about kindergarten that he really wanted to write, and he had written one, I said, go for it. The first one he wrote was First Day of School. And so I have a sweet spot for it. It is really a delightful book. Due to some publishing issues, we ended up putting out the Christmas book before the first day. But this one is really good, a good book. And it's coming out right at the end of summer. So for those of you who are looking for something to help prepare your little ones, or your wife, husband for their little one's first day, or even for new teachers, if you have a new teacher in your world who's getting ready to start school. And after reading the book, I don't think it matters. And we got 3 teachers here. I know it doesn't matter. And y'all confirm this. Whether you're teaching kindergarten or 12th grade, Ms. Bennett taught high school, the first day of school is exciting and nerve-wracking. Would you agree?
I would agree for everybody, for all ages.
Grades. So when you read this book, you read about the little people and their apprehension. And as parents, that first day of school, I don't care how many times you do it, there's always a prayer in your heart. Lord, please let that teacher who get my baby take care of my baby. Even if your baby is 19 or 5. And so I think it's a good book for anybody who has a first day of school coming up. It really looks at mamas and daddies and children on that first day. And then I think Dr. Shipman has a wonderful point of view being a teacher and a parent. You kind of know how all of them feel, that first day of school. So hopefully the book will be published it's being scheduled to be released on July the 19th, 2018. So check Amazon,
Barnes and Nobles,
iTunes,
everywhere, anywhere you can buy a book is pretty much there. Kindle books.
Was Nook.
It's
all of the online publishing, all of the hard copy publishing. You can also go to TerrenceShipman.com on that day and order it. And we really hope you'll purchase it.
And one of the things I want to say about the book. So I did a sneak preview without the words. I just showed a few people just the pictures.
And you have a great illustrator.
He's magnificent.
Milan Risic from Serbia.
And as I showed people just the pictures without words, they began to almost cry. I remember doing this. I remember doing that. I remember that feeling. I felt the emotions, and that's what the book will bring out in you, is the emotions and the love of the first day of school, how it was to drop your little child off that first day. And all of a sudden you see this 6'2" black man, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, Dr. Shipman, in case you don't know who the 6'2" black man, Dr. Shipman is a very large man. He is 6'2", 6 feet 2 inches tall, and he's well into 200 pounds, and there's nothing little about him, and yeah.
If you see it, and as you read the story, as these people were looking at the pictures, they couldn't read it yet. They were just getting more and more involved, and they was like, I love it. It captured them. And just think, now we're going to put the words to it, and so you're going to have that whole book to feel this whole experience.
Oh, wow, Mr. Shipman. I can't wait to get that next book.
And hopefully your book also will help encourage more men, white, black, Indian, Asian, whatever, more men to go into the elementary school. Me and Miss Bennett are middle school teachers, and I think we both know the just urgency of needing for men to be in those younger grades our students have got to start seeing men as authority figures before they become police officers and bosses. It is so important. And it is more important that they're in the little ones when they're formative years and their minds are such clean slates to learn it. So I think that Dr. Shipman being, and all men who are in elementary school deserve to be applauded because, yes, we need nurturers as women, but we also need our men to understand, our boys, our girls, to see that men can teach, can be gentle, can be kind, can be nurturers, not just this authority figure that shuts it down at the end of the day. Right. So, but anyway, Dr. Shipman closes up today.
All right, in closing, please don't forget to look at my Facebook page. And of course, we have 3 pages. We got Terrence Shipman, Team Shipman, and the Real PTA. Also, go to my Instagram account, Twitter account, and web page, which is TerrenceShipman.com.
And that is TerranceShipman.com.
Absolutely correct. And like I say every week before we get out of here, wait, I'm so sorry, I almost forgot. Miss Bennett, I want to thank you for being here. And of course, I always forget my favorite one, LinkedIn. Please check LinkedIn. Miss Bennett, I want to thank you for being here, being our special guest, and please come back one day.
Yes. I shall. Thank you for having me.
And Miss Williams, want to say goodbye.
Bye, y'all.
And in closing, as I always say, please subscribe. Please share. Let the whole world know about Mr. Shipman's class. In closing, I am special. I am smart. I am somebody. Thank you very much for coming to Mr. Shipman's class.
Mr. Shipman's class. Mr. Shipman's class. Mr. Shipman's class. Mr. Shipman's class. Mr. Shipman's class. Mr. Shipman.